According to Talking Points memo, an employee of the DEA were arrested on Wednesday on charges of running a New Jersey strip club under the agency's nose. And this is according to federal prosecutors in Manhattan. So the two suspects who have been arrested, David Polos and Glenn Glover, were both charged with a single count of making false statements for allegedly lying to the agency about their outside employment with a place called the Twins Plus Go-Go Lounge in South Hackensack, in which they had a ownership interest in. So a little background about this agent and this other employee of the DEA. Now, David Polos had joined the DEA in 1991 and had supervised the New York Organized Crime and Drug Enforcement Strike Force until last April, according to a criminal complaint. The complaint stated that Glenn Glover is a communications specialist at the agency whom Polos had once supervised. Now, of course, an attorney for Glover told TPM that she believes her client would be exonerated for trial, saying he's, quote, a well-respected, highly decorated DEA employee with a lot of years of good service. I read the complaint for the first time this morning, and I believe the appropriate place to try the case is in court and not the press. We're pretty comfortable that when there's a trial, a full airing of the facts, he'll be exonerated. Now, Polos, an attorney for Polos, did not respond to a request for comment. Now, this complaint laid out some mundane tasks like replacing beer coolers, covering shifts, that prosecutors say and prove that Polos and Glover had allegedly been actively involved in managing this club. But there's also some seedier parts to this complaint that I'm going to get into. And it includes allegations of employing undocumented dancers and sending racially charged emails. So here's some of the details, the salacious details from this complaint. Now, apparently, a lot of the dancers at this club were undocumented. According to this complaint, most of the dancers at Twins Plus were originally from Brazil or Russia. Their undocumented status was widely known, so it's not as if they didn't know that these women had come to the country illegally. They were widely known among the club's employees, in part because dancers spoke about it, and in part because the dancers had to sign in using employee sign-in sheets that asked, among other things, whether employees were United States citizens or not. Now, the owners of the club, including Polos, allegedly even arranged for one Brazilian woman, identified through the complaint as Dancer 1, to work double shifts in order to make enough money to pay back her smuggler, the person that helped smuggle her to the United States. Oof. Not only that, but Polos had allegedly loaned the Brazilian dancer money to bail herself out of jail after she was arrested outside during an altercation with police. Now, that's just about the immigration status of some of these dancers. It gets worse. Now, also according to this complaint, dancers allegedly engaged in sex acts with patrons for money. An FBI agent who reviewed surveillance footage of the club, including from inside its lap dance stalls, stated in the complaint that there appear to be multiple instances of sexual contact between dancers and patrons, with money exchanged afterwards. Now, on my part, I believe prostitution should be legal. It's a contract between two adults. But nonetheless, in this circumstance, it is, at the moment, against the law. Now, I would like to see prostitution legalized, once again, because it's a contract between two adults. But obviously, this DEA agent knew that this was going on and let it go, let it happen. Now, the club's managers also allegedly sent racially charged emails about employees. The co-managers of Twins Plus sent emails to each other that referred to the employees as colored. In one exchange outlined in the court documents, an unidentified co-manager sent an email to Polos, Glover, and another manager about calling an exterminator to get rid of pillbugs in the club. The co-manager allegedly joked that maybe the exterminator could quote, get rid of some of the colored girls. You can get rid of all the black girls if you want, if you go find others first. Glover had reportedly responded to this first email. Nice. Well, not only that, but Poulos had allegedly boasted about being in law enforcement at the club. He didn't hide a secret that he worked for the DEA. The club's co-managers, as well as two bouncers, were aware that Glover and Poulos both worked for the DEA. However, on occasion, Poulos allegedly would say that he worked for the FBI. Interesting. The complaint also cited an incident in which Poulos allegedly pointed a gun at a strap to his ankle during an argument with the wife of one of the club's co-managers, saying, quote, this is the boss. I am the boss. Not only that, but the complaint also alleged that Glover wore a bulletproof vest to work at the club once. He apparently knew where to draw the line, though. The complaint cited a text message in which Glover informed one of the club's co-managers, I'm with two state troopers. They don't know I own the bar. The co-manager replied that he would inform another employee who was working at the time. Basically, to act like we don't know this guy. So our co-owner is coming in of this club, but we got to pretend not to know him because he's with some state troopers. And we don't want to give him away. Isn't that amazing? And there's so much more in this complaint that could, if this is true, this could really bring down these two people, this one agent and this other employee. Now, as far as where I'm concerned about the DEA in general, why do we even have a DEA? What's the point of it? Now, I believe that all drugs should be made legal, and instead of funding the DEA to go and bust in people's doors, maybe we should instead treat addiction to drugs as a disease instead of a criminal offense, and take all that money and put it into drug treatment programs and education to get people to basically inform people not to do drugs. That would be a smarter investment. At this point, I don't even know why we have a DEA. They keep getting in trouble, just like the Secret Service keeps getting in trouble. There needs to be definitely more oversight. And as far as the DEA is concerned, I think we should get rid of it.